Hi everyone! For this video, I would like to talk about different question types for data science product case interview and why you should stop categorizing those questions. Before I talk about why you should stop categorizing the questions, I would like to outline all the potential question types with some examples. Let's get started. Common example types. Type 1. Define metrics. Example questions can be, how would you compare a new feature to an old feature? Question type 2. Success or not. How would you measure a success of a new product? How would you evaluate a feature? Those all belongs to success or not type of question. Type 3. Improve a product. You might get a question like, how could we improve tutor? How could you improve certain feature on certain app? Type 4. Diagnose a problem. Example questions are like, Facebook's user engagement has dropped by X%. How would you figure out the bug behind this? Type 5. Launch or not. Example question you might get can sound like, should we launch a product? Should we launch this feature? Type 6. Identify opportunities. The interviewer might ask you a question like, is it a good idea to start a product like Facebook Marketplace? Type 7. Metric trades-off. You might also get this kind of question during interview. If comments on Facebook are down by 10%, but reactions are up by 15%, how would you approach this? Type 8. Growth. You might get those kind of questions on the interview. We want to grow X metrics on Y features. How would you achieve this? Okay. If listing out possible question types gives you a sense of security, that is okay. Knowing what you might ask can help you feel more prepared. However, the purpose of this video is to really talk why categorizing questions can limit your approach and limit your performance in the interview. Reason 1. The boundaries between question types are not very rigid. You might have already noticed this. Some categories, they overlap with each other. For example, a lunch or not question often ties closely to success or not. Defining a matrix is the step that can be part of any question type really, because you always need a matrix to evaluate either success or trade-off or growth. These boundaries are man-made. You don't need to strictly categorize questions to do well in your product case interview. Reason 2. Interview questions rarely fit nearly into one category. During the interview, question often evolves as conversation progresses. For example, you might get first question like, should we launch this feature? Provide us some solid analysis. If you decide to launch these features, the interviewer can ask follow-up questions such as, how would you identify opportunities around this feature? How would you grow these opportunities? What metrics would you use to measure success of those growth opportunities? In this way, a simple launch or not questions transfers into identify opportunities or growth or success or not questions. Probing questions can really blur the boundaries between different categories, and the conversation often built organically. I want you to remember that. Third, rigid categorization can lead to panic during interviews. What if you get a question that just doesn't quite really fit into any predefined categories? What if you forget the template you memorized for the specific type of questions? Being overly reliant on the categorization or rigid format can really make you freeze during your interview. Worse, it can show lack of flexibility, which won't impress your interviewer at all. So what can you do instead? I highly recommend you to focus on a flexible, universal approach. Instead of stressing over memorizing strategies and frameworks, focusing on mastering a single, adaptable strategy to tackle any questions. Here, My 5-step method provides a comprehensive approach that works for all question types. Let me go over this with you. 1. Ask clarification questions. 2. Form a business perspective. 3. Identify a data science strategy. 4. Analyze potential outcomes. 5. Summarize and make a recommendation. By using this method, you will have the tool to confidently tackle even the most unexpected questions. No need to feel intimidated by the list of questions. They're really not meant to scare you. It's here to show you the breadth of the possibilities and to remind you that flexibility is your greatest strength in product case interviews. Hey, if you want to learn more about how to apply this method, I highly recommend you to read my other articles, watch my other videos, and check out my courses on Udemy.